Apple is the biggest brand in the world today, and one of the biggest companies to ever exist. Apple's market value is 2.2 trillion US dollars. But like most other big companies, Apple has had a lot of challenges and troubles in its history. Apple almost failed and went bankrupt in its early years, but was saved by Steve Jobs. Apple Computers was founded on April 1, 1976 by two college dropouts, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. They wanted to make computers more compact and user-friendly. They had great success in the first few years, and in 1980, Apple's sales were $117 million, which were up from just $7.8 million 2 years ago. But in 1983, Steve Wozniak left the company. This was a huge hit, as Apple lost one of its founders. Steve Jobs then hired Pepsi's CEO John Sculley to be Apple's president. But John Sculley ousted Steve Jobs in a coup and took over the company. Steve Jobs went on to find his own company called Next Software. Meanwhile, Apple did well till 1990 and posted its best ever profits that year. But Apple was slowly failing. In 1985, Sculley had turned down an offer from Microsoft's Bill Gates to license their software. As Microsoft became a very tough and huge competitor, this proved to be a very bad move for Apple. By 1996, due to a lack of innovation and bad decisions, Apple was in a terrible condition. Fred Anderson, Apple's chief financial officer at the time, said that he really tried to help the company, but he didn't know how bad it was until he started digging in. By the end of 1996, Apple had lost $867 million, while its total market value was less than just $3 billion. The next move proved to be a very critical one in Apple's history. Apple bought Next Software, which was Steve Jobs' new company, and made Steve Jobs the CEO again. Jobs came in and made a lot of changes. One of the biggest things he did was that he made a deal with Microsoft that John Sculley had declined. In 1998, Apple released the iMac G3, which was a full desktop computer. This marked Apple's comeback in a huge way. Later, the iPod was released in 2001 with iTunes, which became a huge hit. It went on to sell more than 400 million units. Then in 2007, the iPhone was introduced and more than 2.2 billion units have been sold. In 2011, Steve Jobs passed away and Tim Cook became the CEO. When Tim Cook took over, the company was worth $346 billion. Today, 10 years later, the company is worth 2.2 trillion US dollars. Apple has continued to innovate and come up with new products, such as the Apple Watch and iTunes. Apple will likely face huge challenges and problems from its competitors in the future, but hopefully they keep on innovating and the company stays one of the biggest players in the technology game.